I want to have a quick conversation with you about Avant and OneMain Financial. And the big question is, which of those two actually offers better personal loans? So here's an overview I want you to pay attention to. When you think about Avant versus OneMain Financial, I want you to think about not a lot of, not a large loan amount. You're not getting $100,000. You're getting maximum 35 grand. I mean, Avant is giving you $35,000 maximum, while OneMain Financial is giving you about 20 grand maximum. Okay, so you're not looking for a large loan amount. You're looking for something decent, let's say average. Okay, and the repayment terms also is not really that much in terms of possibilities. Okay, so you have 24 to 60 months on both loans. Whether you go with Avant or OneMain Financial, you are getting 24 to 60 months. So that's 2 to 5 years. The APR is going to be somewhere from 9% all the way to 36%, even though Avant is charging you less APR, because the lowest APR you have from Avant is actually 9%, while the lowest you have on OneMain Financial is actually double that. You have 18%. So right there, that's really a huge difference to really think about. Okay, and but on both loans, you do have a series of fees that really come to I mean, they accumulate. They add on to the APR. So you have the APR, and then you have administrative fees. You have origination fees. You have late payment fees. You have return payment fees, and all those fees they could amount to 15%, 50% of the loan amount. That's pretty huge. That means what? It means if you are approved for a $10,000 loan, you're probably paying in fees $1,500, okay, and you're getting $8,500 like in the end. So that, you can say, well, that's actually if that's good for you, that's fine, but that's a lot of cash to really pay in terms of fees. But hey, listen, it is what it is. Especially if you apply with other lenders, you do not get approved. So let me give you the details here. If you think about Avant versus OneMain Financial, let's first talk about Avant personal loans, okay? And then I'll speak about OneMain Financial later on. So when you think about Avant, you have a lender that's actually great for a lower starting rates. That's what I said a little earlier. Avant is starting you at 9%, while OneMain Financial is starting at 18%. That's the starting loan amount. That's the starting APR. Okay, so Avant has a more competitive personal loans, especially if you are comparing them to what OneMain Financial is offering. Avant is giving you a maximum of a minimum of $2,000 and a maximum of $35,000. So right there, the delta is pretty good. Okay, although this lender has a high administrative fee, you can still find that overall it has an APR that's lower that you can qualify for if you went with OneMain. Okay, so that's really important. Now, these features make Avant a good option if you have a credit score on the lower end of the fair credit range, or even bad credit. If you have bad credit, it's just maybe better to go to Avant because of, again, the lower APR they're charging you. But the thing is, Avant does not accept co-borrowers, so you must qualify on your own. So if you feel like it will be harder, it will be harder for you to qualify on your own, then Avant is definitely not the place for you to go. So what are the pros and cons here? If you think about Avant, the pros: you have a reasonably low starting APR at 9%. You have a 10-day late payment grace period, so that's really cool from a flexibility point of view. And you have low minimum credit score requirement. Okay, that's kind of cool. On the flip side, that's actually the minuses, the cons, the drawbacks. You have a high top end APR at 36%. You do have steep administrative fees, so all the way to 15%. I've said this before, and there are no joint applications. So, with Avant, you are on your own. Okay, they're not going to allow you to apply with your husband or wife, whatever. Let me talk to you now about OneMain Financial. So when you think about OneMain Financial, I want you to think about a lender that's great if you have poor or no credit history. Okay. And the cool thing about OneMain Financial is that this lender stands out for its fast funding process, which can be especially challenging to find if you have a bad credit. And this lender also is very good also because it allows you to secure your loan with collateral to potentially reduce your APR. So that's really cool. But just be aware that OneMain Financial will charge you pretty high APRs. Okay, so even if you have excellent credit, you will receive a credit card like rate, like about 20%, like double digits. Okay, plus this lender only offers loans in 43 states. So what I want you to do is please double check with Avant to make sure that you are actually that they are available in your state. So the city and state where you are at, that they cover that location. So what are the pros and cons here? Let me first talk about that. So the pros, if you think about Avant, I mean not Avant, OneMain Financial, OneMain. The pros, you have same day funding available. So that's really good. You have secured options available, and you have in-person and online options. So OneMain is kind of similar to a bank or a credit union in the sense that you have the possibility to actually go to a branch or go to an office and actually get funded there, at least process your paperwork there. Okay. On the flip side, basically, you do have high APRs. So the APRs can be really high. I think I've said this before. You have higher late payment fee. So basically, even though in aggregation, the two will have a total fee that goes to 15%, you have to understand that OneMain is relatively higher than Avant. Okay, and so the last thing is that you have the geo restriction, right? So OneMain Financial is not available in all 50 states, 43 states only. So that could be a problem. So let me talk to you about the selection here. How do you choose between Avant and OneMain Financial? If you are thinking about their personal loans, you have to ask yourself what works. Okay, first thing first. Ultimately, the thing is, if you think about Avant and OneMain Financial, you have to understand that those two lenders are similar. They're similar enough that it really doesn't hurt to apply with both lenders and see how much you can qualify for. Why? Because they both allow you to pre-qualify for a loan. So that's kind of cool because so what I want you to do is go to Avant and go to OneMain and see how much you can pre-qualify for. And based on that, you can make your decision. But just be aware that you are going to pay more with one versus the other. Okay. Now, when I say pre-qualification, this means what? It means you can make an informed decision and choose the lender that offers you the better deal. But even with poor credit, you want to compare personal loan rates from a range of lenders to ensure that you get you ultimately get the best deal. So first thing first, I want you to really pay attention to the APR range. APR range is really critical. So both lenders offer the same maximum interest rate of 36%, which is really higher than the current average personal loan rate of 12%. Okay. But the thing is that when you think about the 36%, this is actually in line with poor credit rates. So that's like if you are in a subprime territory, that loan is pretty normal. Now, of the two lenders, Avant is the better choice if you meet its credit requirements because of the lower potential APR. OneMain, on the other hand, has a maximum APR almost double that of Avant. That's what I said a little earlier, 18%. Okay, so that's kind of something to really think to have in mind. And by the way, if you don't meet Avant's minimum eligibility requirements, OneMain may be a good option for you. And unlike payday loans, which charge rates as high as 400%, OneMain's APR is actually capped at 36%. So something were to happen, you're getting a 36% maximum. While that does not mean high monthly payments, it is a less predatory rate than other lenders that work with bad credit. You also have the minimum credit score. So both of these lenders cater to those with poor credit, so the subprime category. But OneMain Financial doesn't set a minimum credit score requirements. So that's something to really think about, okay? And what I want to say here is that Avant accepts credit scores as low as 500, sometimes 450, which really falls within the very poor category, according to FICO. And many other lenders, even those that claim to accept bad credit, have a minimum credit score of at least 600, okay? Including you have Best Egg or Lending Point. That's really something to really think about. I also want you to think about if you have to select between Avant and OneMain Financial, you also have to pay attention to the repayment terms, because the repayment terms for personal loans tend to range between 1 and 7 years. Sometimes they give you the repayment window in months, not in years. Okay, so instead of 1 to 7 years, you have 12 and 84 months. So now, while you can secure a lower monthly payments with a longer term, it will result in more interest overall. Now, both of these lenders, Avant and OneMain Financial, have terms available for up to 60 months. And so if you can secure a lower rate with Avant, it can really be a great option for you, even with slightly higher monthly payments for a short term, okay, for a shorter term, because you have the possibility to actually come out of the loan process overall better off, because you would have paid less interest. Let me talk to you also about the time to receive funds. So the primary benefits of borrowing with OneMain is actually it's same-day funding. Same-day funding means what? It means that you are getting, if you apply before 10 a.m. Eastern, you are getting the loans, the loan funds wired to your account by 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So basically, if you are able to pick up a check at a local branch, you can have your funds the same day you apply with OneMain. Avant, on the other hand, falls more in line with most personal loan companies, usually 1 to 2 business days in terms of funding. That's really the, how do I say this? This is basically the time to really account for, like 24 to 48 hours. But hey, listen, it's still fast anyway. If you were to compare that to, let's say, more traditional lenders, such as credit unions or banks for that matter. If you have to choose between Avant and OneMain Financial, I want you to also think about the loan amount. So OneMain is the better fit when you want a smaller loan, that's for sure. Why? Because its loan amounts range from $1,500 to $20,000, depending on where you live. And where you live is going to be very important, because I think I've said this before, but I'll say this again. Banking in this country is regulated at the state level, and every state has its own laws when it comes to the minimum loan amounts, but also the loan conditions to actually abide for this year. So that's an important element to think about. So Avant offers larger loans than OneMain, with amounts ranging from $2,000 to $35,000. So if you have big expenses, Avant is naturally, okay, better able to meet those demands than OneMain, especially if you want if you want to take care of those expenses, those large expenses in the long run. Also think about the fees here. So when comparing two fairly similar lender options, considering fees can be very important, because it can help you determine which option will save you the most money, especially in the long run. So Avant charges a steep administrative fee, similar to an origination fee, of about 10%. OneMain takes a different approach, assessing either a flat rate or a percentage of your loan amount as an origination fee. Okay, so the best way to determine the fees associated with borrowing with these lenders is to actually get pre-qualified. That's what I said a little earlier. Get pre-qualified and see what they have to offer you. Okay, both lenders also have late payment and return payment fees, with OneMain's running higher than those from Avant. Okay, so if you choose to secure your loan with collateral, you must pay a fee for adding OneMain as a lien holder. So this is actually an extra fee. So you just have to be comfortable that you want to really pay that extra fee this year. So the bottom line is, in this economy, if you have to choose a personal loan, like a personal loan with a relatively lower loan amount, you have to be careful as to the lender you choose, especially if you live in the states that's actually not that's not really favorable to lending. There are states that are not really favorable to lenders. Like for instance, you have New York State, for instance. So both Avant and OneMain Financial are actually a solid borrowing options, but they're not the only available sources. Okay, please keep that in mind. Don't really think that you need to get everything through those two. No, selecting the best lender for you depends on your credit profile and borrowing needs. There are a wide range of bad credit loans available, so keep searching and comparing bad credit personal loan rates until actually you find a lender that actually works for you this year. And you gotta really ask yourself what's important for you. Is it the APR? Is it the loan repayment window? Is it how fast the loan is funded? Is it actually the repayment terms? Okay, is it actually the fees that you care about, the loan fees? That's an important element. Now, as with any loan, you want to calculate the cost with fees before you borrow to ensure that you are getting a loan that fits your budget in the first place. Okay, that's an important element because it allows you to know exactly whether you're getting a good deal or not. I mean, it's one of those things where lenders are really good at making sure that they sometimes bury the details. That they bury the details in the fine print. So it's up to you to really take time to dig deeper, ask questions, and make sure that you are getting the best deal possible. One thing I also want to say that if you have to compare and contrast Avant to a personal loans, remember that you are speaking about two lenders who are primarily online lenders. In other words, they don't have offices where you can go to and just sit. Okay, which means that they have less fees than traditional banks or even credit unions. So you want to take advantage of that and make sure you are getting the best loan for yourself this year. As a recap into this conversation, I spoke to you about Avant versus OneMain Financial. I give you the overview, the details, the selection, and now the bottom line. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.